Ladies and gentlemen,
you are now about to witness
the journey that is the Lyfe Choyces podcast.
Yeah!
Welcome back, everybody, to the Lyfe Choyces podcast here, where we discuss mindset, success, the good and the tough aspects of going after your passions. Today's guest is Alexander Nazari.
Correct.
Awesome. I got it right. It's a tough one when you look at it, but it's really important to me that I get the names right.
You nailed it.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
I appreciate you joining us here
for
today.
I appreciate the invite.
Can you let our viewers know a little bit backstory about you, like what it is that you do right now in life, different jobs, different businesses?
Sure. Yeah. So what I basically do is me and my wife own two salons. We're acquiring our third beauty salon now. Our salons have full services, everything from hair and nails to aesthetics such as microblading, like massage, the whole nine. Like we're trying to offer everything for everybody. And one of the benefits of our salon, for a long time, we've always heard single mothers or stay-at-home mothers complain like, I can't get my hair and my nails done. How am I supposed to take care of myself? Little Johnny's a maniac and this and that. And now we've kind of had an answer to that. We offer childcare at our salons. So we're called Me Time salons, and that's why we call it Me Time, because you actually get some Me Time, and you can watch your child on an iPad while he's being taken care of by our staff.
I literally just got goosebumps. You've broken the mold of a spa.
There you go.
Wow.
And we're acquiring our third. We're about to close. And I don't want to go into too much details about that because until it's official, but it's going to be really close. It's going to be downtown. So, yep, and that's one of them. I was also involved with a marine construction business for a long while. It was very, very successful, but I had to walk away from that just because difference of opinions. But right now, I'm really excited about a new venture that I'm taking on. I have a lot of brilliant people in my life. I'm far from brilliant, I'm far from it.
Listen, I try to hire the right people to surround myself with because I don't know everything, and it's hard to try to be that one strong person all the time.
Well, then you can totally relate. Like my talent is recognizing the talent in others.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I hear you.
Like where I lack, there's so many people that don't, and I try to find those people and put them in the right positions in my life to help us both. It's a one hand washes the other's reciprocity.
Absolutely. I love it.
Yeah, absolutely, man. So ISP, Ideal Strategic Partners, is a company that has so much potential. I'm going to get into that. Scott Moffitt is the CEO of the company. He is a brilliant guy. So I was bartending a long time ago at ER Bradley's, and this gentleman, Scott, used to come in all the time, avid sports fan, the loudest at the bar, At first I found him completely obnoxious, but then as soon as, I started talking to him, like he had so much depth to him and so much knowledge. I knew he was brilliant. We all have stuff to polish, but he was, I knew that he had a knack for business, and, we stayed in contact over the years, and then he told me about his company and what he was doing. He's basically doing what Shark Tank, the show Shark Tank?
Absolutely.
It's what they do, but in like a real world setting.
Okay.
So he has various marketing streams that get him out there. So when you search how to patent an idea or how to launch a new technology, a new app, whatever, they come up. Okay. So when they come up, you'll get in contact with somebody. And then if you have an idea that's actually workable, that's feasible, it solves a problem, there's potential growth there, we help you do that, and we help you do that considerably faster than it would take you to do it on your own.
Okay, so if someone was trying to do these ideas in business, patents and whatnot, tough for them, a lot of filing, a lot of researching, whatever. But then you and Scott, that particular business is already doing that work for them to help them out.
It's doing all the groundwork. It's doing the tough stuff. I mean, most of these people that have these ideas, it's not what you think. Like, it's not what I thought, at least. Let me rephrase that. It's not what I thought. I thought these were going to be people that had huge business backgrounds, that worked in a certain field and they found out how to improve something in that field. No, these are like blue collar guys. Like most of the guys that we talk to are like from a town of 1,000 people,
Yeah.
maybe if that, in Ohio.
Just out of the box thinkers.
Because we don't consider them our clients, we consider them our partners. We're partnering with these people,
Right.
While a lot of these people that are helping you patent your idea or all they're doing is they're promotionists. What they're going to do is they'll work with you no matter what, as long as you pay them. But the beauty of it is we get a small equity in their company. So now we have small equities in several companies that we're well invested in. We know the ins and outs of the company, and everybody's benefiting. These people that call in, man, most of them are very like middle to lower class.
Right?
They're not in the upper echelon. Because if they were, they'd have the resources to get it done themselves. And we're taking their baby. This is something that this is their pride and joy, because we do require that they put around 25% of the initial investment in. And for these people that could be a lot of money.
That could be a loan.
The small business loans are right around like $330K to $600K, depending on what you're trying to launch.
Right. Okay, wow.
So if we can get them to invest 25% of that and they have skin in the game, we will move forward with these people if it's a feasible idea.
Okay, well, that's good to know. They got to show up with 25% of what it's going to be.
If they don't have any skin in the game and they're not doing any footwork,
what's the point?
We're just stealing their idea is what we're doing at that point.
And
we're trying to partner with people, not use people.
You have a great mindset. That's how we kind of like floated towards each other, because we could both tell that there was something conversational there. Mm-hmm. We don't just wake up one day and be like this. We have to go through some shit to get to that level. Yeah. So where in your life did you switch from, an old mindset to this way of life?
I'll tell you again, it goes back to what I said about having the right people in my life. It wasn't me by myself that got me out of where I was, and I'll touch on it briefly. Like, I have a checkered past, that I'm definitely not proud of, but I'm also not ashamed of, because it made me who I am today. I'm the youngest. Shall I start from the beginning?
Wherever you like. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So I'm the youngest of 7 children.
Boom.
Okay. And as the baby, my father was married 3 times. I was from the 3rd wife. So it was just me and my sister from my mother. So my older brothers, like I was just telling you before I walked in and we sat down to do this recording, that my nephew was 36. I'm 43. My nephew's 36. He was the best man at my wedding. So I was basically raised by my older brothers. My father's from Afghanistan. He's an immigrant, he came here on political asylum because of all the travesty that was happening in Afghanistan. And when he came to this country, his English was very broken, and the only jobs he could get were like, just like remedial work, man. Like, bussing tables, sweeping, mopping, that kind of stuff,
The jobs that most people wouldn't want to do.
The jobs that most people wouldn't want to do. So there were times, it was usually 2 jobs at a time, but sometimes there were 3 if he had to pick up weekend shifts at a different company. He was working like three different jobs at sometimes. I never saw my father growing up. So my guidance came from my brothers, and my brothers had no guidance from my father. It was a powder keg, so my brothers, we all got picked on, okay, growing up. So we got picked on because we were different. We weren't, I grew up in D.C., in the D.C. area. And, we lived not in the worst neighborhoods, but definitely not in the best, We weren't Latino, we weren't black, it kind of set us aside.
But visibly still different.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
We weren't Latino, we weren't black.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And everybody else around us was.
Yeah.
So there you go. And then that kind of like always made it a little bit more difficult to be accepted, And then of course we're wearing hand-me-downs because my dad can't afford the Jordans. He can't afford, we're sharing each other's clothes. It's getting passed on to passed on to passed on. By the time they got to me, they're rags.
Yeah.
So we were always getting picked on about the clothes we wore. My oldest brothers were born in Afghanistan, so they had accents. They got it really bad. They were in Esau. You know what I mean? Like it was tough. It was tough, man. So we noticed that, if we wanted to be popular and everything like that, we needed to dress nicer. This is what was expected of us. We needed to talk cooler. So we were, my brothers learn from television. I learn from my brothers. We watch all the shows where people were cool and in the city, and this is what we pictured would get us accepted, is if we emulated these people and dressed like these people. So my brothers got into, basically a lot of illegal activities. I don't want to talk about them.
Yeah.
But because it's nothing that we're proud of. But I followed suit, so it got passed on and passed on and passed on, and it got me in a lot of trouble. In and out of jail.
Yeah.
In and out of jail, just a revolving door of shit. As you were saying, yeah, I wanted to be just like my brothers, and my brothers wanted to be like these people. So we emulated those around us. So, like, when you're selling drugs, let's just say
we've all been there.
Let's just say you're a drug dealer, you hang out with the drug dealers.
Yeah.
If you're a drug user, you hang out with the drug users. If you're on a wait staff, you're hanging out with other waiters and people in the industry. You are who you surround yourself with, vice versa.
Agree 1,000%.
Right? So it took a lot of pain, a lot of separation from the people that I loved to come to the realization that the people around me have to change. Like, I'm stuck.
What age were you at that point?
Jeez. At this point, it was late, man. I was probably like 31 when I finally was like, enough is enough. And don't get me wrong, that was not even my last scrape, but that was when the change started to happen. Change takes time, man. Yeah, well, it's like I said, it wasn't my last scrape, but my mindset changed. And what it was I got a pretty lengthy sentence, and when I was in there, I started getting some spirituality to me. I don't want to say religion, because I didn't really have like a tied down religion. I feel religion is for like people that are scared of hell, and spirituality is for people that have been through hell. You get what I'm saying?
Interesting take.
It's just how I view it, So I started getting spiritual, and I knew that there was something out there greater than myself. I didn't have a name for it, didn't know what that was, but I knew that I needed to pay more attention to the signs around me and see where things are going and what needs to change. And the first thing that needed to change were the people that I was hanging out with. So I cut people off, and I made a geographical change.
And that brought you from DC
to Maryland. To Florida.
To Florida. Okay.
Yeah.
And that was at what age?
That didn't happen until 34.
Okay.
34 years old. And when that happened was the best thing that happened to me, to be honest with you.
Tough and great.
Tough and great. So, I didn't feel the need to try to fit in, though, which was a big change for me. And honestly,
you grew up.
Wow. Yeah. So, I did what I knew best. I got in the service industry. It's easiest job to get, especially if you have some background in it. So I started working at Café Bolu, which is in the Brazilian Court Hotel on Palm Beach Island. I was rubbing elbows with people that lived on Palm Beach Island. They really took a liking to me, and I started hanging out with a couple of those people. Unfortunately, like a magnet, I had this. I'd like to believe that I don't have it now, but I still had that trouble magnet. So the people,
the energy that was coming off,
the energy was coming off of me.
The wrong.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So the Palm Beach Islanders that I was hanging out with at the time, they were trying to use me for certain things. They were trying to use me to acquire them goods that they wanted. And this is still, and I'm like, I've been through this and I know better, but I want to be friends with them. So here comes this acceptance thing again. So I'm torn. What do I do? Yeah. What do I do? Then I realized, you know what, man, I'm not going to do it. Like, I'm going to break off from them, and I'm even going to stop working there. And I did. Because I was trying to get away from it.
You were starting to become more self-aware, and knowing what paths you did or did not want to go down anymore. You had a much easier way of seeing and realizing which people around you were going to, take you down paths that you don't want to.
So, and it goes back to what I'm saying about trying to put the right people around me. Now I have successful people around me that want me for the wrong reasons. Like, you have to recognize your worth, which I wasn't there yet, but knowing what I know now, you know, I still hadn't found my worth. And it's like, you won't be worth very much if the people around you don't value you.
Agreed.
You know, you got to be in the right place. So I wasn't in the right place. So then I started working for Lindsay Autry, who's another, she was a James Beard nominee. She's a talented chef.
Is she the chef that works at, or I don't know, works, runs, owns, whatever?
Regional.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. Okay, I had a meeting with Carlos, a buddy of mine, way back before I started Lyfe Choices to see if he wanted to do some videography stuff, and I took him to dinner there. Had this wonderful dinner. It was phenomenal. And
Do you remember what you got?
well, we got everything.
Okay.
Yeah. What I remember about it is the dessert. After it came out, I asked the waiter so I haven't said anything at the table about what I do for a living. Okay. Just having a meeting with a friend, just going over business, whatever. And I asked the waiter, did the chef, is your pastry chef, like, did they use a Paco jet? And the person looked at me with like a blank face.
Yeah, I don't know what
that
is.
Because there's a Paco jet. It's a piece of equipment that, you know, one would use to make a sorbet. And she was like, I'll find out. And I shit you not, Lindsay comes out of the kitchen. Yeah. She just happened to be there on that night, comes out of the kitchen and says, you must be a chef. And I was like, well, I cook, like, you know, she's like, well, you know, I knew that because no one would ask unless, exactly. Right. Yeah. And I was like, yeah, I mean, you know, it's phenomenal. It's absolutely, I just couldn't say enough good things about her food. And we had like a good 15-minute conversation with her at the table. Cool. So she's an awesome person.
She's cool. Yeah.
Yeah. The fact that she came out to talk to a customer, a guest that, you know, clearly she knew how to.
I like Lindsay. I'm a big fan of Lindsay. Lindsay's very hands-on. You know, she sits down with every one of her wait staff, you know, front of the house staff, like individually, and gets to know them. And she makes it a point to get to know them and for you to get to know her.
Okay.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. She's great to work for.
So you left Blue. You went to her to the regional.
Yeah, I went to the regional.
Okay.
Yeah. So when I got there, I met the first mother of my child. The mother of my first child.
Gotcha. It took me a moment to.
Well, it took me a moment too, apparently.
so the mother of your first child.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So it's actually a funny story. So some years back, I had sustained an injury to my lower back, and this was down here. And I went to the hospital. Okay. When I went to the hospital, there was a nurse that was taking care of me 3 days a week. She was very attractive, young, you know, beautiful girl. And I would constantly hit on her. But I was miserable at the time. Like, I couldn't walk. I got a lower back injury with my L3 and L4, and I was not able to walk. I could move. I wasn't paralyzed, but it was excruciatingly painful to move, you know? So I wasn't going to physical therapy. Like, I was like, I'm over it. I was down in the dumps just feeling sorry for myself, you know. I'm not doing anything, you know. And then, but I'd always perk up when she came in and try to act like everything was okay, because that's
got to be that strong man, apparently, right?
Yeah.
That's what we're told, yeah.
Right. So, you know, she heard that I wasn't going to physical therapy, and I was hitting on her, and she was like, you're not trying to get better. Like, I don't even want to talk to you. Don't even talk to me, you know? And I kept hitting on her. And I told her I'll start going to physical therapy, but she has to talk to me. She said, okay, I'll talk to you if we go to physical therapy. So then now we're getting into conversations, and we're both getting flirty. And I asked her, I said, look, if I leave here walking without a walker, will you go on a date with me? And she said yes. And we never went on that date. You know, I got out. I had other things going on, and, you know, I just didn't want to follow up because I honestly felt, I don't know, I felt like I'd be rejected. You know, I thought that she was just saying that so I would do my best to get better. Self-doubt, just full of self-doubt, you know. Later on, I can't remember the specifics, but I remember that I still had her number in my phone, and it was like, after a shift that I got cut super early from the floor, I decided, excuse me, I decided to go ahead and reach out. Just, I had a couple drinks in me, which always helps, and so I reached out and I was like, hey, and she's like, hey, she's like, where have you
been?
Yeah.
100%.
Where have you been? What happened to you? And I was like, and then I told her the same thing I told you. I was like, I honestly thought you were just doing that to be nice, and I didn't want to make you feel obligated to do something that you didn't want to do. And she's like, why would you think that if I didn't want to do it, I wouldn't have given you my number. I would have just said it's against policy or something like that.
Isn't it funny though how the strongest, the most confident, visibly men, right? Because other people will look at people like us like, oh, he's got so much confidence. He walks around, he's just so cool. And it's like, no, we too have self-doubt at some times.
Oh my gosh, we're our worst critics.
And it seems to come quite often when it comes to going after someone that you're interested in.
100%.
Yeah.
I don't know what that vulnerability is. I wish it wasn't a thing, but it definitely is.
Well, I believe it comes from your youth. This is what I try to explain to people when they ask me about my tattoos. They're like, oh my God, how do you deal with that pain? And I say to them, listen, this pain takes about, this pain takes about 2 or 3 hours, depending on how long you sit there for. And after that, you have this wonderful piece of artwork for the rest of your life. The emotional pain that we put ourselves through or that we are put through when we are younger lasts so much longer and hurts so much more because we're so hard on ourselves and not willing to allow ourselves to let go of it, that causes other things later in our lives. Like when we're in our 30s and we're attracted to somebody, the nervousness of going and doing it because of that's what I believe. Because of what happened in our past, because we're still holding on to it. And until we let go of that, until we accept that was then, that self-doubt won't shift.
That makes a lot of sense. It really does. It makes a lot of sense. It's like, I have this much pain in me already. How much more can I take, kind of thing?
And you're afraid of it because the physical pain, that's easy to deal with. Yeah. You've been in service. You've
been through it.
Back and again, Yeah. But that emotional pain sits with us way longer and way harder.
Yeah, it's funny, That's probably one of the most valid statements,
So you're at the regional.
Yeah.
You've gone from one place to another, and this is at the time where you're working there. You met mother of your first child at the hospital, helping you out,
and then I decided to give her a call. So
you decided to call.
She's, where have you been? And I said, I told her, I was afraid that you were just trying to be nice. She said, hey, no, I definitely was interested, and then I was like, can we just meet for a coffee? I miss looking at your face. I just want to see your face.
Honesty.
It's true. So she showed up. We met at Starbucks, and then it just went from there. I asked if she would see me again. She said yes, and it became a thing. We stayed together for about a year, and this was. Let's fast forward now. I was working for a long time right there. Fast forward to, I was about age 36. Yeah, we had dated for like a year, and then we decided to, we didn't decide to have a kid. She got pregnant, and she decided that she was going to keep it, and which I'm all about. Like, it's not my body, not my choice, but my choice is life.
I'm 1,000% on your side.
Yeah,
I've been in the situation in the past. And very grateful that I was allowed to be part of the conversation, because that would bother me more if I ever found out later in life that I wasn't even told.
Yeah.
But I was told. I said, 100% I'm there, regardless. Whatever is needed.
Whatever you need.
I got you.
Yeah.
I'll stand up, man
you're
up.
A man.
Fuck yeah.
Exactly.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
No, I was fortunate. My father was around as much as he could because he was trying to support 5 people. Sure. Including himself. But I was fortunate because he was there. He showed up. Yep. That being said, just let me be part of the conversation. But their body.
Absolutely.
Up to them.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So my choice is life. And she asked, what would you want? And I said, of course I would like you to have it, but again, entirely up to you. She said, no, that's what I want. And I'm glad you said that. So, and this was all kind of like a shock because she had some surgeries done in the past on her ovaries because she had ovarian cysts, and one of them was like really aggressive. So she wasn't they were not sure if she could even have a baby. They said there might be a chance that you might not be able to have children.
So it's a miracle.
So
Yeah.
Exactly. So she's like, I don't know if I'll ever be able to have another kid. I'm not going to pass up the opportunity, And she's like, but yeah, that's that. So
you became a dad for the first time.
I did. I became a dad, and what happened was, and I believe postpartum had something to do with it. The aggression that was being shown to me after the birth of the child, I guess there's a multitude of things. I'm still in the service industry. She was always pushing me to be something else. I was, I like to have a couple drinks after my shift with my friends, and that was a habit I didn't break. I wasn't coming home very late, but I
weren't coming home instantly.
I wasn't coming home instantly, and she had a serious problem with that. And then, I value my friendships a lot, and let's be honest, when I get home, she's already asleep anyway. So I just didn't see why it mattered.
You weren't seeing it from all angles.
I was not seeing it from all angles.
You were seeing it from your angle.
Right.
Which I get.
Right.
We've all been there. But
Right.
both sides, men, women, don't matter.
Sure.
But back when you
I just feel like if the shoe was on the other foot, she got off a shift, had one with a friend,
Wouldn't
and
be the
came
end of the
home.
world.
Right. Yeah. And I'm not hanging out with the female staff or anything like that to promote any kind of jealousy. So, we didn't see eye to eye on that. And then we didn't see eye to eye on career path. Then we didn't see, and parenting styles. I worry a lot about my children. She was very kind of, laid back a little, and so I'd stress her out and be like, hey, what about, always something.
I don't know. We literally talk about this regularly. I don't have kids. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I know the theory behind it. I don't know the practice. Mm-hmm. From what I gather from everyone that sits in that chair that brings up the topic of parenthood or having children is situational.
Right.
And like you say, you both had different ways of what would be the proper way of bringing them up. Yeah. So it's hard to, I couldn't fathom having those conversations on a regular basis right now because I have not found a partner that I could see myself going down that journey of life with. Right. And much respect because you have more than one. And the theory of worrying about someone the rest of your life, as you just pointed out, I could see you being the type of father that I think I would be. Loving them, the child, with every ounce of your being.
100%.
And at the very same time, worrying to fucking God every damn minute.
All the time.
Yeah.
And I will say this, and I know you don't know, but I'm going to let you know right now.
Please.
I'm 100% certain that the bond between a father and his daughter is just a tad bit stronger than a father and his son. Just a tad bit. It's just different. That's your little girl.
Yeah, I can understand that. Just because if I watch a TV show or a movie or whatever and I see that, what I feel inside, I mean, you'd kill a motherfucker for it.
Well, I'm saying, I know my dad loves me. He loves my sister just a little bit more, and that doesn't bother me, man.
Yeah.
That I get it now. I didn't get it then.
Yeah, I think it has to do with, and maybe we can switch this and love our children equally all the time. I don't know, but I think it comes from the fact of, boys are supposed to be strong right away.
Yeah.
You're supposed to just be manly.
Right.
Where your daughter is your daughter.
Yeah.
She's your princess. Mm-hmm. And if anyone comes near your princess and harms them in any shape, form,
it's on.
Oh, on like Donkey Kong, motherfucker.
It's on, bro.
Yeah, there's no self-doubt there. It's just getting it done.
That I've never had a problem with.
Yeah. I love that.
That I've never had a problem with.
Yeah.
That was never scared.
Was having the children a big part of the mindset shift going from where you were working to what you are owning now?
Oh, 100%. Well, it's funny you said that. So that relationship ended really badly one night, really badly, ugly. I came home and we had been fighting constantly, man. Constantly. At this point, Amelia, who's my oldest daughter, was only 4 months old. I came home to a very, very angry person. I just saw a book on your shelf that Daniel Kahneman book, Thinking Fast and Slow. Love it. I love it. I bought it twice. But anyway, so I'm so sorry. So, I came home to a very, very angry woman. She runs out of ideas, So when she runs out of ideas, here comes the physicality to it.
Uh-oh.
So and it was dark. I walked into a dark room and I pretty much got ambushed, right? And she starts punching me repeatedly in the face, caught me flush on the nose, water toward my eyes. So just out of instinct, I shoved in her direction. Unfortunately, caught her smack on the nose and her nose bled. And what do you think she did? She went and locked herself in the bathroom, called the police. Now get this. You know how when something like that happens, usually the police come, you tell them what happened, they take pictures. She took a bunch of selfies before she called the police. She made sure that not rinse it off, nothing.
Yeah.
She
Painted the picture.
Man, she wanted it. She wanted me to suffer because I guess somehow emotionally I was making her suffer. And it took me a long time to realize that there's two sides to every street. I was like, wow, that was really malicious and it was really cruel. But I have no idea what she was going through. I don't know what kind of stress from postpartum she was going through. I don't know what kind of stress I was adding to that. It had to be something pretty serious for her because it's a complete 180 from the person that I met.
The fact that you're able to realize that, and maybe not in that moment, but shortly thereafter, and you're able to live your life now with that thought in your head is amazing.
Right.
Because it's not just self-awareness. It is literally knowing how to put yourself in the other person's shoes and trying to understand that the way they're coming at you, information they're giving you, the way they're reacting to you has something to do with more than just you.
It took time.
Yeah.
It took time. I felt betrayed for the longest time, and I think in a sense now I can see again, I know she did too. So moving forward, I will say she is an excellent mother to our child.
Wonderful.
And we are able to
coexist.
Oh, 100%. We're really friendly, I think it just goes to show that some people are just better off as friends.
I was about to say, just because two people have a child together does not mean they have to stay together, does not mean they have to get married.
Yeah. Well, it's completely unhealthy sometimes.
Yeah, for the betterment of the child, sometimes it's better to not be together.
To just co-parent.
And co-parent, become friends or friendly.
100%.
Raise the child in a healthier environment than it would be if you stayed together.
Right.
Which back in the day, like our parents' time, because we're not that far off in age, our parents' time or our grandparents' time, it wasn't it was very frowned upon if you separated from it was shameful. Like you're like cut off from the family and stuff. And it's like, well, hold on a second. It's for the healthiness of someone else. They're not doing it selfishly. They're doing it for the child.
Right.
So, and hopefully the children grow up and appreciate it later on in life.
I strongly agree. I mean, I'll be honest. My mother left when I was 11 years old. And all I remember from my childhood was arguing, yelling, crying, shit like that. Definitely had an effect on how I used to approach relationships.
1000%.
She was never like this whole thing what the physical occurrence that happened between me and my ex was a first time thing in our family. My father never hit any of the women in my family. Like, no, absolutely not. And like, that, what me even reacting like that, I'm still there. There's a tinge of shame to me, but
I get it.
It is what it is, and I can't change it. It happened. I can't change it, man.
But you realize it. You notified it. It's in your brain.
Right.
You're aware that it happened. You're aware that it was wrong, and that's back there.
Right.
That's not who is sitting here right now.
It's definitely wasn't even the guy back then either, because it was completely reactionary. But I'm not even going to dwell on it because it happened though, and it sucks.
Yeah.
You get what I mean? So moving forward, so it was a ugly breakup, At first she didn't want me to see the child. She wouldn't allow me to see my daughter.
And at this time, you're still in the hospitality industry, still serving, bartending, that sort of stuff.
She sent that selfie that she took to all my coworkers. She really just tried to drag my name through the mud, and Again, I don't know what she was going through at that time. It was completely what I thought was out of character for her.
Right.
You know, but anyway, so
it's not easy dating the bartend, hospitality, wait industry. 100%. It's hard to date that. I've dated a handful. I say date very loosely. I've dated a handful of bartenders, and it's not easy, you know, because whenever she would finish work, it would be, you know, late, and now she wants to unwind and have drinks. And back then, for some of them, I was already drinking way too much anyways, and then I'd have to stay out drinking even more. I shouldn't say I had to. I chose to. It's tough. It's tough. Yeah. So now, you know, you have a child and you're gravitating to different.
I'll tell you what happened. This is when I told you that last scrape. So of course the police got involved there. You know, I got a domestic battery charge, which is the ugliest thing on my record, and I've done some bad shit. You get what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But to me, that's the biggest blemish on my record, because it's definitely not who I am. You know what I mean? It's definitely never, ever been a part of me. So any kind of feelings that I had, because all the feelings I had were painful. They hurt so bad, bro.
Confronting them is not easy.
Dude, it was really one of the darkest places I've ever been in my life. Okay. You know, and at one point in time in the past, I had gotten sentenced to a very lengthy sentence. Very lengthy. This did not even compare, and I wasn't even like I probably would have got like maybe a month, 2 months. Like, it wasn't about the time; it was about the loss of everything that I loved. You know, I had contemplated suicide at this point. God, it's hard to talk about, man.
No, please do, though, because this is something that, you know, I take to heart, because I have this tattooed on me, and I don't know if you're familiar with that.
I'm not.
The semicolon. Okay. The semicolon in literature is used because it's not a period, it's not a comma. What it stands for is that the thought is not over. The sentence is not done. Yeah. So when it comes to those of us who have had these thoughts of suicide, it means that my life is not over yet. Right. There's still more to come. Okay. My story's not being finished, written.
I like
so
that.
This is like,
I get it.
It's huge. So thank you for volunteering the information.
Well, I mean, it's important. It's a big part of what pushed me to be where I'm at now. Like I said, heavy drinking, heavy drugs, which continued. And then I needed to start supporting my habit. Like, this restaurant industry wasn't enough. I've met somebody who had a connection, so I get back into the old cycle that I was in, and I'm doing it on a major level. You know, I'm taking trips from Miami all the way to Port St. Lucie, like back and forth, all over the place, dropping off an ounce here and an ounce there. You know,
you're on the big road of self-sabotage.
1,000%. And I can't even see it because I'm so blinded. I'm literally on a substance 24/7. I wake up, I take a bump of something, whatever it might be, whatever I have.
I hear you.
You know what I'm saying? I don't want to feel anything. I walk through life for the next couple years of my life, absolutely.
And you have a daughter at this time.
Which I can't see.
Right.
Which I'm not allowed to see. And,
crushing.
Oh my God, I still feel it now. You know, thank God it's not like that anymore, bro. You know, thank God.
You went to the bottom.
Yeah. So, yep. So then I get a huge charge, man. I'm skipping over one of the most important part. I think within a month or two of that bad breakup and me, before I started getting heavy into the drugs, like I already picked up, you know, a couple 8 balls, because I knew I was going to start, you know, like I knew, you know what I mean?
To use or to sell?
Both.
Both.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm supporting my own habit at this point.
Gotcha.
So, this female friend of a friend, you know, asks if any, you know, I'm sitting with this friend. One of my close friends is sitting next to me. He gets a phone call from a female saying that she needs a gram. Okay, so I go, do you remember Brother Jimmy's?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, of course. So I head over to Brother Jimmy's.
We don't need to name names, but I might know the person you were going to.
Not him. I know exactly who you're talking about. He's too tall for the conversation.
Oh my God, that's too funny. We're gonna move on from there.
Yeah. We're
gonna move on there. I was actually referring to a female, but At the same time, yes. Gotcha.
Not her either.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah. But I'm not saying that never happened.
Oh my God, that's too funny.
So that was my spot. You
Yeah.
know? So I literally just sit there all day. It's actually horrible.
Just a quick pause, because
Please.
this is an intense conversation. It's funny that you say that, because you and I have literally been in the same places multiple times then without even knowing who the other person was. Somehow connected, but not yet.
So
wasn't
nuts.
the right time for the
So
friendship
nuts,
to
man.
start.
Yeah.
But continue on. So
I agree with that,
you're running around.
Everything happens for a reason, as it should.
Yeah.
And that goes back to that higher power that I believe in. So so the phone call comes. I go to Brother Jimmy's. I meet this female, and we're waiting on her, and we're sitting at the bar, and here she comes. He's like, oh, that's her. She walks in with this stunning blonde, and like with just these big, like doughy, like greenish eyes. And I was like, who the fuck is that? You know? And so she walks up to me and she says, hey, what's going on? Gives me the money. We make the exchange. And I'm like, who's your friend? I was like, you have to
Straight to business.
You have to introduce me right now. You know, well, at this point, my confidence is out the window. I don't care about shit anymore.
Well, that filter's gone.
It's gone.
You've gone down the rabbit hole of self-sabotage.
Right.
Your life is falling apart that people don't know about.
Yeah.
You can't see your child, the whole charge coming, all that sort of stuff.
If I want something at that moment, it's in the moment thinking, not thinking about anything else except for what I want right then, right that moment. That's
and you
it.
wanted to know who this friend was.
Exactly. So she's like, yeah, that's my friend Kelly. You know, and I was like, well, can you introduce me? She's like, just go talk to her. And I'm like, okay. So I do. And, you know, when I talked to Kelly, she was, you know, not really engaging. She's like, I know why she came here and I know what you do. So like, because I'm like, hey, what are you doing later? This and that. And she's
not having it.
She's not having it.
Not having it.
Absolutely not.
She kind of knows your backstory-ish
Based
on your current choice of work.
Exactly. And she doesn't want anything to do with me. So I not taking defeat though. So I'm like, look, it doesn't even have to be something serious. I just want to hang out with you and get to know you a little bit. Like, I don't even know if I like you yet. You know,
right.
total full of shit.
Yeah. Playing the game.
Of course. So she says she's going to this bar, whatever. And she's like, if you show up, I was like, if I show up, will you dance with me? She's like, you dance? And she liked that. She got a smile out of her. You dance? I said, yeah, I do. She said, yeah, okay. If you show up here, it was Respectables. If you show up at Respects, because it's one of her friend's birthdays, I'll dance with you. So I've tried to play it cool. Hang out for like another half hour after they leave. Then I beeline for Respectables. I walk in. She's at the bar to the right when you walk into the bar, the stage or whatever, right there. So I walk beeline for her. Saw her immediately. You know, walk up to her and we start. I grabbed her by the hand. I said, you owe me a dance. And we start dancing together and everything like that. We ended up hanging out the entire night, you know, which again, she didn't want anything like that. But she did appreciate.
It's not just the hospitality industry that you're in now. You're a full-fledged drug dealer.
100%.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's
100%.
one thing, hospitality industry, you do drugs.
Right.
But now you're the supplier of the drugs.
Right.
And for most women, that's not something that they want to invest their time.
Especially not for Kelly, which at the time I didn't know has been a sales executive with NBC Golf Now for 12 years. You know, like this is has a corporate background, like well grounded. Like she doesn't come from a broken home. Her parents were together until they passed. You know, and unfortunately they both passed of cancer within 5 years of each other, but they were together the whole entire time. Our two stories couldn't be more different.
More different.
Yeah. Like it couldn't. So anyway, she entertained my advances, but she really wasn't going for it. I asked for a number. She reluctantly gave it to me, you know.
But still gave it to you.
She still gave it to me.
So there's hope.
There's hope.
Yeah.
So
you're telling me there's a chance.
You're telling me there's a chance. Yeah. So, you know, I did pursue. Meanwhile, I'm getting deeper into this underworld, you know, moving up in weight class, all that great stuff, which I think I'm doing great. because my mind is absolutely warped at this point.
Yeah.
The only thing that I was even genuine about was that I cared for Kelly. I liked her a lot, man. Like, I liked her immediately. She's funny, she's outgoing, it's a beautiful smile, friendly, knows some people. Like, you can tell she's not a piece of shit.
Yeah. I mean, I've known Kelly for, the group of people that I've been hanging out with for, close to 15 years. I've known her. We've all had kind of like exchanges of time at different moments in our lives here. And another person that I've met in my life that I don't think anyone that I know of has ever said a bad thing about, and she, as far back as I can remember, every time I saw her come into the bar, because I lived in a bar basically for like 7 years. That's where I have expressed to the audience about my alcoholism. And every time I ever saw her, once we met, it was always smiles. It was always, how you doing? And her girlfriends that used to, there was a group of them that would always be out together. And I would see them like every weekend or a couple times during the week or whatever. And yeah, just a very pleasant, very happy, very welcoming, and very warm individual.
She's hilarious. She's very smart too. She's just really smart. And so yeah, I'm pursuing her, and we get it. We end up hooking up, and it becomes a thing, and we start dating on regularly. And believe it or not, she gets pregnant. She gets pregnant within 3 months of us dating.
Oh,
quick. Well, she's, of course she's shocked, because we thought we were being careful, but we weren't being that careful apparently. And she says to me, she's like, what do you want me to do? Again, I've been here before. I've had this conversation. I told her the same thing I told Cassie. I was like, it's absolutely up to you. My choice is always going to be Lyfe. That's just who I am. And I will do everything I can to support you in any way, whether you want me to be in the life or you don't. I will be supporting you.
Got this.
Meanwhile, I'm still sending what I can to Cassie, which she has no problem accepting the money, but she won't talk to me. She won't let me see my child, And I'm having to send this money through intermediaries, but that's beside the point. She knows where it's coming from.
Yeah.
But still, anyway.
Which, kudos, because regardless of not even being able to see your child, you're still taking care of your child.
100%.
So pat you on the back for that shit.
I'll always be a father.
Yeah.
I'll always be a father, Bradley.
Yeah.
So, my father took care of 7 of us, man. I come from good stock.
Yeah.
I just have a warped.
Hey, you've been down a few rabbit holes.
Oh my God, bro. Yeah.
But you're here.
I'm here. So, and this is what got me here. While we were dating, she gets pregnant. I was not a good person to be in a relationship with, which she already knew, but I was being a piece of shit, man. I was not boyfriend material at that point. I wanted to be. Don't get me wrong. I really loved Kelly.
Yeah.
But I didn't know how to love myself, and that way I couldn't. The love that I had for her, I was not showing, not correctly. Not how she deserved.
But like you're saying, because you didn't love the person inside of you.
Absolutely. So which makes it impossible to love correctly.
Agreed.
Yeah. So I was being unfaithful. I was disappearing. I'd be gone for a couple of days. She wouldn't know where I was. She's like, I didn't know if you were dead in a ditch. I didn't know. Well, it comes to light.
And at this time, still in the pharmaceutical industry.
100%. Oh yeah. Like now I'm ounces all over the place, man. All up and down the eastern seaboard down here in Florida.
All right.
Making money hand over fist, but easy come, easy go.
Always.
Like I'm splurging. I'm buying everybody at the bar drinks all the time because I live there. Just like you said, I lived at bars. The 500 block of Clematis.
Not loving yourself.
Not loving myself.
Very depressed at this point.
Completely.
Suicide, probably a regular thought.
Regular.
Still wanting acceptance, thus buying everybody drinks constantly because you're the life of the party.
Because I'm beat down.
Right.
Yeah.
One daughter you can't see. Another child on the way.
Yeah. and what happens is it comes to light that I was unfaithful. She finds out. Not only was I unfaithful with one, but I was unfaithful with a few.
Yeah.
You know, and once that information was found, Cassie's the one who actually found out. My ex was found out and contacted Kelly to let her know that I was unfaithful. You know, again, completely trying to destroy me still, you know.
But at the same time,
Right.
you're doing
Oh,
shit
100%.
to destroy
No.
yourself.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
I'm just saying she went out of her way to deal. You know what I mean? She just went out of her way,
Yeah.
which
Inevitably it was going to show up.
in retro, what's done in the dark, in the dark comes to the light.
1,000%.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't hide in the
Did
shadows.
it in my 20s.
Can't hide.
Always
in the
got found out.
Yeah. So probably the best thing that happened for our relationship, she split up with me. You know, she's like
Before the child came.
And I told her, you know, I'd still like to be in the baby's life. And she's like, I want nothing to do with you. I can take care of the child for myself. I don't need anything from you. And I was like, well, I'm still going to give you stuff whether you want it or not. She's like, whatever. And she's like, just get away from me for right now. And I said, okay, I respected that. So now, another girl I love, I lost, you know, so they're due to my own actions, you know. So what do? I focus 100% on destroying myself, and I was very good at it. And then I sold to this chick a few times in a good amount of weight, and on the fourth time when I sold to her, she asked me if I would get a cup of coffee with her. She was attractive. We had never done anything. She was attractive, and you know I had time, so I said, yeah, sure, I'll get a cup of coffee with you. She's like, yeah, come on, let me just buy you a coffee real quick. She was like flirty and this and that, and I was like, all right, whatever, you know. So I get out. It was the Dunkin' Donuts on Atlantic Avenue in Delray, and I had a bunch of cocaine and a bunch of heroin in my trunk of my car. When I get out of the car, I am surrounded by police. She's an undercover.
Get the fuck out.
She's undercover. They were just building a case on me. So on the fourth exchange, boom, and I'm fucked. Okay, because this is not my first, not my second. This is my fourth.
Multiple.
This is my fourth distribution down here. They call it trafficking. And trafficking is a sentence that's punishable, you know, it's supposed to be 20 years, you know. You're supposed to get 20 for trafficking. All together then you got the heroin trafficking of that. There's another 20 years. Then you got paraphernalia. You got the actual sale of. You got the transportation of. I was facing 63 years.
Life.
63 years, yeah. Facing 63 years, I'm sitting in the jail cell. I have nothing. I can't get to my money. I have money in various locations. I don't trust anybody to get it. And the people that I do trust, I can't get in contact with, or the ones that I can get in contact with are in different states and way too old. And it's just too risky to get them involved in any way. So I just, I sit there and I wait, And I was like, I had to reach out to somebody, because I was like, again, I want to hang myself in the cell. I want to find a way to kill myself in there. When I clean up the floor, I really planned this, I was like, I'm going to ask to clean up the floor, tell them I need bleach and drink bleach.
Jesus.
Yeah. My life's over. My life's over. There's no way I'm getting out of this one. There's no way. I'll be in prison for the rest of my life. So I just called Kelly, just to see if she'll even talk to me. She picks up, and we talk, and I lose it on the phone.
Understandably so. Yeah, understandably.
I lose it. The tears are just flooding out of my eyes. I can remember, and she's like, "It's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay." I'm like, "How?" And she's like, "What do you need?" And I was like, "I need a lawyer." She's like, "Okay, who?" And then, I did some research on it, because these conversations continued. So the long and short of it is, she was like, "Whatever you need, I know you'll pay me back. I know you're good for it. Well, I got you.
Wow.
After everything I've done, everything I did to her.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Solid. What a person. What a woman. Anyway, so give me 1 second. So she says to me, just pay me back. And I said, I will. I get Richard Lubin, who now has retired from law, but I mean, I was one of the last major cases that he took. Okay. He took my case because there was a good price tag on it, and he met with me, and he saw that I wasn't a complete moron,
Not a complete loss yet to society.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Right. So he's like, I'm going to be honest with you. As many people as I know, as many connections as I have, like, I can't promise you that this is going to go well. Like giving your track record. I've done the depositions. I've looked at the evidence, and it's unrefutable, whatever. There's no case that you have that you're beating any of these charges. Like you're
guilty.
We have to look for a plea. Like there's no fighting this.
Yeah. Can't hide.
He's like, I am just going to work as hard as I can with the prosecutors to try to get you the best deal I can. He's like, and nobody else can promise you anything more than that. He's like, but if there's one person that can get you the best deal, it's me. You can look up all his accolades. His wife was the mayor of Palm Beach. Like he cost an arm and a leg. I don't even want to tell you how
Probably
much.
costed you more arms and more legs than you have. Yeah.
Well,
you're sitting here right now.
Well, here you go. But I had no access to any of that cash that I had.
But you had it. It was there.
It was there.
Yeah.
But I didn't have access to anything, and here's Kelly willing to, the deposit to retain him was $25,000.
Damn.
Without batting an eyelash. Without biting. Her mother.
Very, very few humans.
Her mother was sick, mind you. Her mother was sick with stage 4 cancer. She was pregnant, baby on the way, close. You know what I mean? Yeah, bro.
Wow.
Yeah.
Can't really say anything else. Wow.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So he took the case.
No, that's not even what. I'm so sorry. I got the timeline messed up, man. She just had the baby.
She just had the baby
while
you were inside.
Yeah.
So you didn't.
No, that's not true. I met the baby, and then a week later,
jail.
She let me meet the baby. I totally.
You'd already been arrested, arraigned.
No.
I
did not get arrested yet. She had the baby, and then she let me see the baby. Again, going through intermediaries to talk to her because she's not taking my calls. She let me come. By the way, I'm such a class act. I show up to meet my child with her straight from the bar, zooted out of my brain with an 11 hat on.
Oh my Lord.
Her friend, who's a huge fan of me at this point.
Oh, huge, right?
Huge.
Bestie.
Huge.
Yeah.
Looks at him. She's like, typical. As soon as I walked through the door, she's like, typical. And I was like,
yeah. Turtle in the shell.
Right, absolutely. So the baby looked just like me. Gorgeous little baby, if I say so myself. So yeah, man. So I meet the baby, but I'm on this, one-way train to destruction.
Yeah.
I get arrested like a week or two later. And then, so she just had a baby. Her mother's her mother. Oh my God, her mother died. Her mother just died. She died on the same day my baby was born in the same hospital. How I forgot this, I don't know.
Okay, that's just weird.
She died 4 hours before Kinley was born. At 4 o'clock in the morning, Kinley was born at 8 o'clock.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm saying wow a lot in this episode.
Yeah.
I'm like,
dude,
I'm flabbergasted right now. Yeah.
You can't make this shit up.
No.
My timeline gets messed up from time to time, but the details are all accurate.
You did a lot of drugs.
Yeah.
It's going to mess this up sometimes, for sure.
100%, man. So her mother just died.
Mother died, childbirth. Father of the child goes to jail, calls her back, gets a lawyer that costs
an arm and a leg.
And obviously, because you're sitting here with us right now, clearly he did a great job.
Dude,
the lawyer.
he did amazing. He got me, when it was all said and done, he got me a year in, all right? A year in, which I had already served. Oh, I didn't even, wait, I skipped something that I needed.
Yeah, go ahead.
I did not have bail because of that domestic thing with Cassie. Like, I got probation for that, for the domestic thing with my ex, and it was still on probation. So then I had to do the time that was on probation. So they wouldn't give me bail. I was doing the sentence for the domestic. COVID just happened, you know what I mean? And I'm sitting there and, COVID hadn't happened yet. I was sitting there, and finally my sentence was up. So then we try to get the bond reissued, and that took forever. So I was sitting there for months. I sat there for 6 months, and after 6 months, they gave me a bond of $100,000, right? Which with a bail bonds is $10K. Okay. So Kelly puts up the $10K. I come home on an ankle monitor. She takes me into her house after everything. Lets me live in her house on an ankle monitor until my court date where I get sentenced. And I get sentenced. And by the way, when I was living with her, I got to see Kinley. So I got to be a part of that. And
started seeing that there was something worth living.
Dude, that was what was the change, man. Like, I only got 4 months of an infant with Amelia, who hasn't talked yet. Now, when I'm with a 6-month-year-old, 7 months, who has like ton of personality, this, and you know what I mean? And I'm like, I can see so much of myself in her that, like, I was just like, dude, I can't believe I'm about to lose this too. So I'm still super depressed, but I am being as honorable as I can by Kelly at this point. Like, I owe her my life.
1,000%.
So even though we still don't know
what's going to happen,
we don't know. I'm still facing 60 years, man. This could be a long goodbye. So, we fall in love for sure, like all over again. This time I'm being who I should be, even though I'm in a bad place mentally, but my heart's full of love for her. And, love for my child. And we become so close, our little trio, it was a beautiful time. And then the sentencing date comes up, and I have no idea what's going to happen. I know that they want me to plea out, and he's like, I can't get the deal I want. While we're walking toward the courtroom, I'm praying. I'm like, oh my God, so now it's up to the judge what I get, But right then, the assistant to the prosecutor walks out and says, Mr. Lubin, can I talk to you for a second? So yeah. Then he goes into another room. They go into another room together, and he comes back, and he's like, you're going to take this. And I said, what? And he goes, they're going to give you a year, which you've already done 6 months of, because they credited that time you were in jail to finish your other charge. They're crediting that. So you got the 6 months there. You only have to do 6 months, which would be 5 months, with good time. You'll do 5 months in jail, okay? Then you're going to do a year on community control, which is a form of house arrest. But as opposed to house arrest, you can actually go and have a job and, get passes and all that shit, And he's like, and then you have 3 years of probation. And I said, I don't give a shit. That, yes, sign me up.
Done. Don't even need. I don't need to go into the room.
Right,
Just, where's the pen?
Yeah, absolutely. So
holy fuck.
Yeah,
holy fuck.
Yeah, God moment.
Wow.
God showed up, and I strongly believe it's because my heart was in the right place. Wow. I really do. If I was still thinking with that, you reap what you sow, and karmic energy is a real thing, man.
I agree with you.
It's a real thing. It's irrefutable. No one can say otherwise. You always see it. You will see it every day.
The evidence is there on a regular basis if you're willing to
It's overwhelming amount of evidence, man. Like the evidence they had against me.
So you just with what you said you had in the fucking car, I'm shocked that you're sitting here with us right now.
You have no idea.
Yeah.
Like,
so here we are. You're getting that.
Yes, I'm like flying.
Sentencing, but
that was
still,
it. That's
you're gonna have a
changed.
life still. And this is that pivotal moment. Like,
this is the pivotal moment.
So you go into jail for 6 months, 5 months for good behavior.
And I was helpful to those around me instead of being who I used to be in a jail cell. I'm an animal when I'm in a cage. They treat me like an animal. That's exactly who I become. Right. You know, like I've done so much time in segregation. I don't even want to talk about it. Like, I had problems, you know what I mean? This time I'm actually like trying to help people. I'm looking out for the small guys instead of trying to take from them.
I have to imagine I've never been locked in a cell, knock on wood. Never been caught for any of the shit I did. Suicide, obviously. That's a thought in there. Right. But at this time around.
Well, it wasn't. I'll be honest with you, it was never a thought in there.
Not inside.
Until I lost my child, you know. And I didn't lose my child until I was
taken away,
separated from my child.
Not allowed to see.
Yeah, that was the only time.
Okay.
Like suicide really wasn't a thing until I had lost everything. Because once I had a child,
changed everything.
It changed everything.
Well, it didn't change everything. Clearly,
right? You get what I'm saying.
It did change a part of you.
That root emotion, though.
Yeah, which is like I have nothing left because I can't see my kids, so therefore I don't want to be here.
That separation.
But thankfully, you chose to stay. Thankfully.
Thank God.
Unfortunately, you chose to stay on the same path you were going down. Right. But thankfully, someone came into your life that
and that's this. Now we have an upward spiral. Okay. Right. Now we have an upward spiral. So I do my time. I'm in a different mindset. I'm not acting. I knew the change was real. All right. And I'm telling you, I knew that life was going to be different at that point. I'm just counting down the days when I get home and I can be the man that I always wanted to be.
Yeah, I mean, you knew we only have this many days.
Right. As soon as I got out, our relationship was amazing. We, we got married. We got pregnant again, like everything. And then she had a friend that had that marine construction business that needed help, brought me in. I crushed it, built it up, became something from what was a little molehill became a mountain, you know. When I came into the company, they had 2 crews. Now they have like 10. In a matter of years, in a matter of a few years. It's been a very short time.
Because you chose to work.
Yeah, it's been a very short time. In a short time, I became a part of. Like, I had a part of that company, you know? Like, this is my baby now, you know? I came in there, I rocked it, they had to give me shit. Right. Yeah. Had to. I was making demands that I deserved. You know, I started to know my worth, Bradley.
There you go.
I started to realize that, you know what? All these talents, all this energy that I was putting into being this loser, if I took the half of that energy, half of it, and used it for something positive, man,
and you did.
The sky's the limit.
And you did, though. Because now you're sitting here with us having this amazing conversation and being 1,000% vulnerable. Yeah. Thank you. That shows the strength of a man you are.
Thank you.
You're able to come on here and share such a story with our audience, which is in some aspects unbelievable, but it's your life. And you've torn down yourself enough to share that with other people in hopes that they don't go down that road. And if they're going down that road, they can see that there's a possibility of a better and positive and happier life. Right. You made the decision to change yourself because you realized what you're worth.
Right.
You started to have self-love, clearly.
Right.
And because you were receiving the love from somebody else and receiving unconditional love from a child, you know.
100%. And I honestly feel like Kelly's love ties into that too, was unconditional.
Well, that was the first one I was talking about. Like that's one of the first people in your life, probably, besides your father.
They loved me to
that
help.
Loved you.
to health.
Not for anything else that you're doing.
Nope.
You know,
I was completely what I consider to be almost unlovable.
yeah. But because you were lost. You were lost, and the way this is just me interpreting
I love
what
I'm
seeing.
I love it.
Is you were lost as an individual because you felt that there was nothing inside of you worth living for.
Right.
Right?
Right.
You felt that you couldn't be accepted by anybody. You felt that you had this need to become this ulterior, I don't want to say, you had to put on a mask and a costume to live every single day. For sure. And that costume took you down a place that, oh God, I hope most people don't go down, because I can't fathom what it would be like to be going in and out of incarceration constantly. But because you had that one pivotal person in your life at a time in which you needed it the most, loving you, right, and looking past all, let's be honest, right, all of your downfalls. Right. And still stood there regardless. You know, that
it's an amazing thing.
It's
isn't it?
huge.
It's an amazing thing.
But you can see your face lights up when you think about her.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
and the life that you
real.
now have because you chose.
It's real now.
To go after positivity.
It's real now. And what I mean by that is, I was always trying to be somebody for somebody else. Like, you know, even at the moments when I thought I wasn't, there's something deep seated inside of me. And that's still kind of, when I'm around a certain type of people, it's crazy. It's crazy that it's still a thing, that core belief that I'm less than, or, you know, I come up wanting in so many situations where I shouldn't. Like, there's 100 people in a room that I walk into, 99 of them are infatuated with me, absolutely adore me. That one that doesn't, though.
That's when you focus on.
That's the one I spend all the time on.
But here's my suggestion to that situation, because your now energy, the way you are right today, I see you at the gym, people gravitate to you, they chat with you, like I see that. Look at that one person in the room in a different light. Don't look at it as the way you are, where it's like, I'm not enough for that one person. How can I win that person over? Just switch it. Just switch you've done the switching of the mindset. You're living a proper life now, right? So why not look at that one person in the room in a different light?
Well, exactly. Well, also, you have to realize you do not know what's going on with another person at any given time. And it's literally, unless they make it your business, it's none of your fucking business. So if they don't, it's not on you to try to instill something in them. You know, maybe they're not capable of that emotion today.
Agreed.
And you just need to worry about yourself and keep it fucking moving. Mm-hmm. You know, and like getting back, let me cap off the life story that you just heard. You know, so yeah, this, you know, life is good. You know, Kelly always wanted to do hair, you know, that was a dream of hers. And we had friends, a lot of mothers that were stay-at-home moms and stuff like that, talking about, you know, the idea that I expressed to you about getting, you know, needing childcare, you know. And also, you know, Kelly, of course, because of herself, like when I was gone, who's taking care of her kid when she's a working woman. So it's served a dual role. She started this thing, and then we grew it, you know.
Together.
Yeah, we grew it. I'm like, this third location that we're getting is because of a relationship that I gained at the gym. You know, working out. I train these two guys that live on Palm Beach Island. One of them has been a successful salon owner for 30 plus years. Like, I mean, he's a big name in the game, but he's had enough. He's burnt out. And he asked me if I'd be willing to buy it from him. And I said, of course I'd entertain that. And then his partner and him had a long conversation, and we've become very close over, you know, the course of about a year now. He approached me again and said, can I give it to you?
Wow. My word of the day on this episode is wow. Jeez, man. Okay.
Yeah, so he's giving me this location. So the paperwork's already in process. We're just getting sublease agreements signed and everything like that, and it should be a done deal by the first of the month.
What a change.
Yeah, and then,
what a change.
Then that guy, who I ended up in, he's had his ups and downs in life, and drinking used to be a serious vice for Scott. And Scott's probably going to hear this or see this because he's integrated him into my life. It's just so I know he's not ashamed of it, but drinking was a big crutch for him. And it's funny, him and I decided to stop drinking at the same time because drinking became a thing for me as well. Like, happy hours turned to noon. What used to be 4 or 5 o'clock started becoming 12 or 1 because as I grew that business, that construction business, I didn't need to be there anymore. I didn't need to be there. You didn't
physically need to be on site.
I did not to be there. Yeah, I didn't. The money was coming in. There was a bunch of it, and my presence was not required to do what I needed to do effectively.
Mm-hmm.
So, I go in, check in, see if everybody was on the ball, and make sure all the ducks were in a row. And then as soon as I'm getting this done as fast as I can because there's a bar and a bottle with my name on it.
Heard.
So that had to stop.
Absolutely.
I had to stop. It was causing arguments at home. I never did anything crazy. I didn't get out of control, but it was too much of a part of my daily routine that made people uncomfortable, namely Kelly, and to be honest with you, it made me uncomfortable.
Yeah. Can't make her uncomfortable anymore.
No, man.
Nah.
That ship has sailed.
Damn right, dude. That ship is on the other side of the world now, okay? And anchored the fuck over there. It ain't coming back.
No shit.
Jesus.
Yeah, enough is enough.
Yeah.
So I've been sober for a short time now.
Congrats.
Alcohol and drug free for about 100 and some change days.
Okay. I'm at the beginning of a 90-day step away from all that sort of stuff.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, not because I'm just trying to focus more on like getting this stuff going, basically.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and again, that shit gets in the way.
Mm-hmm.
It does.
Yeah.
Even if you're not a problem drinker, when you're drinking, it is a problem.
Oh no, dude! Like I said, I've said it on here many times. 6-7 years I spent drinking.
Right.
Didn't affect my work. I mean, I was hungover almost every day at work, but I did my job.
Right.
Didn't drink on the job, but as the moment the job was over, I was at the bar. And I was at the bar a minimum of 7 to 9 times a week.
Yeah.
Because on Saturday and Sunday, I would go literally to the bar twice. I would go in the morning, I'd drink all day. And if I left, it was like to go home to like maybe shower or something. But then I'd be back at the bar at night. And it wasn't just to be social. I was there to get fucking hammered.
Fuck yeah.
Because I didn't want to think.
Absolutely.
I didn't want to deal with all the other bullshit in my life. But anyhow,
I 100% get that though.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I've lived it, so I know where you're coming
you've lived I'm gonna say it, a lot fucking more than I have.
Yeah.
Because everyone's got a different story, and what you've shared with us today is just unfathomable.
It's kind of crazy. It's absolutely not the normal story.
Well, you went through all that stuff, and here we are today. You helped the business become more successful than it was. You work with Scott. What's the name of the company?
Ideal Strategic Partners.
Okay, so you work with that company as well.
I'm the front line of the company.
Front line of the company. Okay, and you and your wife have 2 on the way to 3 salons.
Very successful salons, actually.
That have a brilliant concept, which is it's called
Me Time.
Me Time, where
salons.
Single parents come in and their child gets some daycare while they're getting whatever they're getting done in the spa, which is fucking unbelievable. That have you patented that?
No, and honestly, people have started to catch on and copy, but like there's only one McDonald's.
Yeah, but I hear, but McDonald's has that fucking patent. Right. You know what I'm saying? Right. Like you might want to get on that, especially with the company you work with as a frontliner.
It's not a bad idea.
Because that will snowball right quick. I'm sure there's other places throughout North America that has it.
There's already a couple. I don't know of any.
Yeah,
this is the first I know.
Definitely get on that.
No, there's another salon. I'm not going to say their name.
Yeah,
but the woman who's one of the managers of the salon used to work for us as a stylist.
Yeah, that's how it happens.
So she took the concept over there.
Because,
but They're closing the doors on that salon. So
yeah, but I'm not a business person yet. I don't have that experience where I have the credentials on it yet.
I can't tell.
Thank
I can't.
you.
No,
but the word I'm looking for is proprietary.
Yeah, proprietary rights.
Right, which is what you would have then if you get that for this idea.
Right.
Which I think you should, because then
it's a really good idea.
The idea is going to keep going.
I like where you're going. Yeah, well, I mean,
yeah, it's a brilliant idea. Like other salons are stupid for not implementing it, and therefore, if they're implementing it, you should get a side hustle from it. Yeah, 100%.
So and it's funny that you say that you're not this and this. Like from the moment I met you, you seem like one of the most goal oriented, like individual, bro.
Thank you.
No, like seriously, you're very direct. You look people in the eyes. Like it seems like you've been in the corporate world forever, even though we know that's not the case.
Yeah, I've been around them.
Yeah, well,
my job has put me beside the 1% for 15 years.
Right.
And my father was a lawyer.
Yeah, but everything that you've talked about since we met has always been about goals.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Which I'm going to quote Denzel Washington right here.
Oh, I'm going to love this. Go ahead.
All right. He says, dreams without goals are just dreams. You get what I'm saying?
Dude, I've seen it. I've seen it a million times.
Right. And then he goes on to say, dreams without goals are just a setup for disappointment. And he said there's two things that are necessary to accomplish these goals. That's commitment and consistency. He said, without commitment, you'll never start. And without consistency, you'll never finish. Which is what I live by today.
I love it that you literally remembered the entire thing that he says. And I've seen it multiple times.
Because I live it now.
Yeah.
Because I live it now.
Love it.
I'm consistent. Everything I do is consistent now.
Yeah.
It's my foundation. I wake up. I take care of myself. I make my bed.
Heard.
You feel me?
Every morning.
Every morning.
Every fucking morning.
And you've seen that too, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen the there's you can see it on YouTube. There's a Navy SEAL who's giving a speech about making, and he's absolutely right. It's the first goal that you accomplish of the day, and it just sets the day rolling in the right direction, man. So there's that. And
doing the things that you might not want to do in that day and still doing them regardless.
Got to do it. Consistency. Like the other day you were walking into the gym. What did you say to me? Like, I really don't feel like doing this today, but you did it. You walked
100%.
in that gym, man.
Yeah, and you said to me, but you're going to feel amazing when you leave the gym.
100%.
And you were completely right. I felt way better. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah. Duh, it's it's getting through those doors sometimes can be the hardest thing, and I don't just mean the gym doors, and through the doors of business and through the doors of
life,
a relationship.
Yeah.
It's just getting through the doors like the hardest part, because we're our own worst enemy sometimes, man.
100%. This is one of the worst places to be in the whole world.
Oh my God.
But I love the fact that you came here today and sat in that chair and you held nothing back.
Oh no.
That is literally the one of the most important things for me. One of the things that makes me the happiest about doing this job is the fact that the people that sit in that chair open up. They just let it out. Let our audience listen and watch to a real person describe what they've gone through in life to get them to where they are. And you've done it,
we're getting there.
Yeah. We're always practicing.
Always.
Yeah. We're always trying to get better.
Oh yeah.
We're always learning.
Now I'm doing it differently, much differently. And I'm not letting things get in the way I'm not letting myself, I'm getting out of my own fucking way, bro.
It starts with
always in my way.
Yeah.
I
do.
Now, like, again, the people, this is 100% how my life is. I have people around me. Because remember when I said when I wanted to be a drug dealer, I hung out with the drug dealers. Now I want to be, successful in business. I surround myself with people that are successful in business. And it not only has it worked, like, it goes back, show me your friends, I'll show you your future.
It's a recipe for success.
You know what my dad used to say? Man, my dad, I don't know where he got this from, because they don't have elevators in Afghanistan, but he said, your friends are like buttons on an elevator. They either take you up or they take you down. Exactly. Yeah. So, and I found that to be 100% accurate. Like, I surround myself with people who are absolute winners and who have the same drive, mentality, passions. And my life is just going up and up. It's slowly, and it's honestly, it's new, and sometimes it's scary, bro. You know,
If it's not scary, it's not worth going after it.
100%.
Yeah.
Dude.
Getting out of your comfort zone.
If you're not afraid, or at least apprehensive, anytime you're taking there's changes occurring, then you're not a human being.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Dude, I'm scared. I'm scared almost every day right now, only because of the aspect that I'm in an industry that is new to me, and I'm trying to navigate through it at the very beginning stages of it. And I have my vision of where I'm going to go. I have undoubtable faith in myself,
Right.
but I still have to put in that time to learn. And that's scary because you're trying to do something that you don't know yet. But everything else that we do in our lives that we've done every day isn't scary because we've accomplished it.
Absolutely.
So I actually welcome it, the scariness of it. I welcome it and I love it because it means that I'm challenging myself every day to do something more, become something better. And when I master this aspect of it, you sure as shit, I'm going to have 2 or 3 other things on the sidelines already working that I'm going to be the brand new person at that doesn't know a damn thing about it.
Right.
And I'm just going to put that on my goals and go after that.
Right.
Yeah.
So what's the next step for you? Like, what are you doing next? Just out of curiosity.
Well, currently right now, this is my main focus.
Okay.
A lot of people have suggested this, that, and the other. And a lot of the research I find has, two sides to every coin. Like you should do this, you shouldn't do that, do a lot of this, don't do that. Right now, I want to focus on these conversations. I want to focus on building my community and my audience so they can understand what it is I'm trying to give them. I want them to learn who I am and about my past. I'm going to be adding something to the daily posts, let's say, other than just the weekly 1 hour and a bit, whatever podcast. I'm going to be putting out a bit more what I call long short form content.
Okay.
On different platforms, so that the audience can learn who I am, because I want people to want to bring me into their house. I want them to want to bring me into their car.
Sure.
I want to become part of their life because I want them to become part of my life. So right now, this is my focus, the podcast. I have to keep doing my job. I do freelance stuff still as a chef, and when that freelance work comes in, then that pays the bills. But this is my main focus. Everything else that I want to do that's written down in my to-do list for 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, it's there. It's on the back burner because I want to become really, really good at this.
You have a lot of accomplishments already. So
Thank you.
I have no doubt of your success.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Doubt.
Yeah.
I'm not worried about it at all. You'll worry about it, but I'm not going to. I know you got it.
I don't worry about it in the essence of stress.
Okay.
Because like I said, I know where I'm going in life.
Right.
I know that I'm not accepting anything else but where I want to go.
Yes.
And that's it. That's the end all and be all. And if I go bankrupt doing it, if I unfortunately pass on while I'm doing it, so be it. It's not going to change the legacy that I'm going to leave behind, which is what I'm trying to build right now.
Yeah, because I'm quoting everybody today.
Yeah,
it's like Michael Jordan says, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
Agree.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love it because we clearly watch the same stuff because
I think so.
Not one of these quotes have I not seen.
I mean, I can tell by your personality, and I think that's what drew us to each other is that we both care about people and we want to motivate people and we want to be motivated.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So of course we're going to watch this stuff and, we'll remember these things because that's kind of people we are. I believe that you and I both have some sponge-esque qualities to us, and I think people like us can do anything as long as we
I
put our
agree with
minds
you.
to it.
Yeah. Self-love, no doubt in your abilities, and go the fuck after it.
Yeah, buddy.
That's it. Yeah.
I love it.
100%. Okay, so just real quick recap here. The company that you are working for is
Ideal Strategic Partners.
Ideal Strategic Partners.
Mm-hmm.
Me
Time Salons.
And is there anything else?
That's it for right
That's
now.
it right now.
That's it right now.
Okay, perfect. There'll be more things in the future.
100%. Well,
So we're going to have...
talk to me next year.
Yeah, we're going to have all of the information for those two companies down below here in the description for all of you out there. That way, if anyone wants to come to Me Time, they know where to go, where the locations are. And if they have an idea or something like that and they want to contact the other business, right down below here in the description.
And in my spare time,
Yes.
which is, this is what I do. I also train people.
Okay.
In the gym.
Personal trainer as well.
Personal
Okay.
trainer as well.
So social media, any other contact information for you will be in the description right
Fantastic.
here. I'm definitely going to reach out to Kelly to see if she wants to come on
Oh, absolutely.
as an individual.
Oh, yeah.
And then
Oh, she'd love
I'm
that.
going to have the two of you on after that together, and we'll have a quick hour
That will
chat.
be hilarious.
We'll just see what happens.
Oh, it'll
'Cause
be good.
I'm setting up the idea of having a third person for when I have, business people that have, two partners, or in this situation, the two of you are partners, obviously in business and in life. So it would be an excellent conversation to have here on the Life Choices podcast.
Man,
So
I love it.
amazing. Well,
Thank you so much.
Again, you're so welcome. Thank you so much, because I can't even imagine the strength it takes someone to reveal all that has happened in your life, all that you've done, all that's been done to you, and just put that out there for public knowledge. And on a podcast that is going to eventually have 1 million viewers and 1 million subscribers.
I hope so.
It's literally what I say every day. And they're all eventually going to watch this episode and be blown away by the strength of a man that you are. It's phenomenal. So thank you so much for coming here.
Just real quick, it just goes back to what I said about spirituality.
Yeah.
It's for those people that have been through hell, not just scared of it. So
I get you. I get you. All right. Everyone out there that's been following us here on the Life Choices podcast, I want to thank you so much for coming back week after week and just supporting this podcast on YouTube. You can get all of us from the Life Choices team. You can follow us. You can subscribe to us. All of our info is down here in the bottom. Again, just genuinely, thank you so much for listening every week. As of course, by now, we're also on Spotify, Amazon iMusic. We're on iHeart Radio app. There's 2 more, which will be in the description down below. We have so much going on right now. Genuinely, just thank you for being out there for us. Scroll on down if you're new. Hit subscribe. Hit the bell if you want to be notified what's coming up next. And we'll see you next time here on the Life Choices podcast. Much love, everybody.
Ladies and gentlemen, you are now about
The Journey Life Choices podcast.